Hi everyone, Daniel here. We're going to today have a go at setting up the Tannus Armour Tubeless. I haven't played around with these before, actually haven't fit tubeless sort of protection before. I've certainly set up tubeless, but I haven't set up cush core or any of those, the nuke-proof ARDs or anything like that, partly because cush core especially, I'd heard about how much of a pain they were to set up, and I didn't want to have any issues if something happened and you're a long way from home, trying to sort that out when you're in the back country a bit really didn't appeal to me. I was finding that with the relatively lightweight tyres that I had on the new Norco Optic, the Victoria tyres, they're probably the casing's kind of the equivalent of maybe an EXO, and so I found I put a pinch flat in the rear within a few weeks. I was running about 30 psi on the back, so still a reasonable amount of pressure, and pinch flatted that, and the stands didn't manage to seal it, so figured it was about time I went the tubeless armour protection sort of setup. So we'll see how we go fitting that today. These are really lightweight. Says 160 grams on the packet here. You barely even, it kind of feels like the box is empty when you first pick it up. But this is what it looks like. Might actually weigh it just to double check. So they're pretty spot on there for about 160. So yeah, see how we go fitting these. They're certainly not round straight out of the packet, but massage them a bit around and see how we go today. Okay, so try putting on the rear. Instructions suggest putting on one of the beads first. I have had these tyres on for a few weeks, so I'm not anticipating too many issues. I've been able to get them on and off by hand before without too many issues. Okay. So I've already got one side of the tyre bead in. Now I'm just going to try and get one side of the armour sort of bead in. Beginning to look a little bit less than straightforward. That is going to be tight. Get that out of the way for the moment. Okay, it's not too bad actually. yeah, that was alright. Thankfully it sort of held in that one spot, didn't keep letting go, and it was just a matter of sort of pushing it in around, and then I think they suggest trying to get the other side in before you go trying to get the other tyre bead in. Okay, so what I've got here is just a hook and loop or velcro piece that just sort of does up like that, and I should be able to use that to hold a bit of tyre on so it doesn't just keep following me. Alternatively, you can just use a piece of rope, you know, with a knot at one end to do the same thing, but hopefully we'll have a bit more luck with that. So start getting that in there again. Okay, yeah, that's not sitting in there at all just yet. I might actually just pop the tyre bead in. Hopefully that'll help me keep it in there a bit better. Crank this up so it doesn't go anywhere. Okay. Feels like getting there. Certainly feels easier when you push it in, kind of using the tyre as well. I was finding just pushing the Tannus stuff by itself didn't really want to stay in there, but the bead of the tyre kind of helps keep it in there and stops it popping out a bit. May change now that we're up near the top, but we'll see. Getting towards the business end now. Okay.
So you can still see the Tannus just popping out there a little bit. But what I haven't done yet is what I would normally do when I'm beading a tyre again, is go around and make sure the bead of the tyre itself is pushed right in to the centre of the sort of the wheel rim, so that you've got as much room to play with at the top as possible. Kind of feels like I'm getting there, I think. There we go. Okay. That's it. That's both tyre beads in. The Tannus stuff is inside. Just move it around a bit, so make sure it's sort of all sitting where it should be. You can certainly feel it supporting the rims of the sidewalls of the tyre. It's definitely pushing out against them, so that'll be useful for a bit of sidewall support. Okay, I have managed to seat these before. These are Stan's Flow S1s that came on my bike, and they seem to bead up really easily just with a hand pump. So with any luck, be able to do that today. Although of course I haven't put any sealant in. Might pop the bead back off again. And do that. Okay, so I just used a couple of tyre levers to take the bead off the rim. Normally I don't have too many issues, especially with this particular tyre and rim setup. I don't have too many issues doing it by hand, but I was really finding I couldn't get that bead off by hand with the Tannus Armour inside. Just sort of, I suppose it sort of stops you pulling the bead up and makes it that much harder to get it up and out. So definitely need some good decent tyre levers to help you unbead it once you've got it on. Done that now. Stick about 100ml of Stan's in, because these are sort of 2.35, 2.4 tyres. Okay. So that's in there. Now, just reseat that, which was pretty easy because I didn't have it too far off. Make sure that's all seated alright again. And with any luck, don't have any trouble getting it to bead, which I don't imagine we will. given it was beading up pretty well just with a hand pump before putting the tubeless, the Tannus Armour in. Okay. Yep, here we go. Not the safest place to put that. Okay. That's a bit over 20 PSI. Almost 30 in there at the moment. Just put a bit more in and then drop it back down. So that's a bit over 35. Make sure that sealant's all the way through. So that feels pretty good. So that bead looks like it's, I'm just checking out the bead, it looks like it's pretty even all the way around. There's no parts where it's sort of stayed sucked into the rim. It all looks pretty even, so I think I'll back that pressure off a little. Take it back down to like 28, and I'll just see how that goes. And if I feel like I can get away with less, then I definitely will.
Okay. Okay, yeah, so that was not as easy as I'd hoped, but not terribly hard either. I'm going to have a go on the front wheel as well, but have a pretty good feel for it now. It seems like using that bit of velcro or a bit of rope just to hold one piece on so you can go around the rest of it definitely helps along. And yeah, best of luck with it.